Welcome back to Dos Amigos podcast. This is Freddy Rodriguez.
And I'm Wilmer Valderrama.
And we are here with the incomparable Melissa Fumero. I'm so interested in hearing about your directing, about Mo Better, your great podcast. But let's dive into it.
The nucleus of that show was when we were on Brooklyn, we were always in each other's dressing rooms, like during lunch or breaks. And we would just be talking forever. And most of our conversations were like, I'm struggling with this, and like giving each other advice, or like, how are you handling this? Or like, what are you doing lately that's making you feel good? And so like the podcast kind of came from that. It's like a spin-off of our dressing room talks.
It's a great compliment to what you were already experiencing.
It was already like part of our dynamic. It was already part of what our friendship is like.
Yeah.
And and even like now, I mean, we see each other quite often, so we don't talk on the phone all the time. But when we do talk on the phone, it's a 2 or 3 hour conversation. Like it's one of those friendships, we can just talk forever. So yeah.
Yeah, when I hung out with you guys in Austin, this was before I even heard your podcast.
Oh yeah, because it hadn't even come out yet.
I remember turning to Wilmer and going like, these two need their own show, man.
And I'm like,
just
they have one.
No, but
you're like, that's why they're here.
That's why they're here, buddy. I know, but it didn't, like, I knew that, but witnessing it firsthand, I was like, wow, these two, the chemistry is like nothing I've seen before, you know. I would love to see that, like, on screen.
On screen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're always trying now. We're always talking about it.
Yeah.
We're always trying to cook up something.
Yeah, what's like that,
like Laverne and Shirley,
weapon,
man, like a duo,
I have it's weird. I have some ideas for us, but I'm like, we have to be older. Like, literally.
I think Laverne and Shirley, they were young.
I'm like, I got this great idea, but it's for like when we're in our like late 50s, early 60s, so we're just gonna like sit on it. Yeah. But we're always trying to.
Tell us a little bit more about More Better, because More Better has been a very wonderful success story for iHeart.
That's
and
terrific.
By the way, More Better is available anywhere you get your podcast. It's also part of the My Cultura podcast network family.
Yeah.
But one of the things that was very fascinating is that voices like you, voices that speak to all communities and all cultures, you haven't had really the kind of the space to really kind of explore, the many boxes you check for not just humanity, but as strong family women. You both are amazing moms and you're incredible professionals. You're also an amazing director, and you're directing some really amazing stuff, which I want to talk a little bit more about your directing stuff. But how would you describe to our listeners More Better? What do you think that people come to More Better for?
Yeah, so on More Better, we tackle a different topic every episode. Some of them are kind of deep and heartfelt, and some of them are like, what wine goes best with Cheetos?
You saw me.
So we like really run the gamut, and we halfway through this first season.
That's the best pitch to More Better I've ever heard. Like, you should end talking. Like, you should stop talking.
I should just stop talking. That's the show. Check us out everywhere you get your podcast. Wine and Cheetos. We literally did do that. And it's really fun, and it's like I said, it's an extension of us. Both of us have always, I think one of the things that's always connected us is Stephanie and I are people that are always kind of working on ourselves. Just like, I think we both sort of see life and this job as there's a progression. Like, you're always growing, you're always learning, like you're never just settled, like, right? Like, otherwise we'd be freaking Buddhist monks, like, we never have it all figured out.
Yeah.
And so, just exploring that in tackling like one topic.
Right.
Big or small each episode, and we started getting suggestions from our audience, which was like the best, most unexpected kind of turn for the show, because we got the best questions and stories, and it was such a beautiful way to connect with the people that were listening to the show. And also it just like really gave us ideas, like, because we might have run out of ideas.
Yeah, because you're doing a lot of episodes.
It's a lot of episodes on a podcast. I was like, how many episodes we doing?
Yeah.
But I was like, that's the standard, which it is.
Yeah.
And it's been really fun, and I'm excited to bring season 2.
That's awesome.
How many seasons were Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
We did 8 seasons.
You did 8 seasons.
Yeah.
Wow.
How many episodes a season?
First 5 seasons were 23 episodes.
Wow.
6 was, I think, 18.
Yeah.
7 was 13, and 8 was 10.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
That's when
Something like
people
that.
were really cranking episodes. It's like
Oh
they don't
yeah,
do
it
those anymore.
was
Yeah.
7 months out of the year, and it was a lot. It was the first season. I was
But
like,
that's what you do, right?
We do 22.
you do
Actually,
22?
We are doing 20 now.
You did
Okay.
20.
But when I got there, we were doing 24.
Yeah.
And bro, by episode 20, I'm like,
Yeah.
you're literally beat up.
Yeah.
And
Oh my God. And when you walk into like table reads and the writers they look rough.
Yeah, they've been
By like
especially
episode
in a drama,
18,
dude.
19.
And it's usually like after Christmas, New Year's, right?
Yeah.
Come January,
You just
you're
start
like on
to
episode
slowly
18,
see the
you're like-
decline, and
Think
you're
about
just like,
that
should I be
1 hour
worried about your health? Like,
The 1 hour
are you
dramas
okay?
the 1 hour dramas are crazy because you're really putting out an hour of television. Well, you're putting 42 minutes, which is double the comedies, which is comedies 22 minutes.
Yeah.
But it is still amount of pages and work that you got to come up with, and you need to do this many crimes in 1 year. That's like really intense,
God.
but also segueing into your directing career, because you've been able to successfully direct multiple primetime shows, and that's something that I haven't directed primetime. I directed other stuff, but I look forward to the day that I get to, kind of produce and direct at the same time. I know you're a director as well and producer. When did you get the bug to direct?
I think I always secretly had it. But it all sort of came about. I did this one job that, long story short, the director was all over the place, and I had a heart out because of childcare. And he almost blew the heart out, and it was frustrating because I was like, well, so on the ride home, I called my manager and I was like, if he had done this, if he had done that, if he had done this, if he hadn't taken so long to make this decision, if he had shot it from this, we would have made the day.
Right.
And my manager goes, I think you should direct. And I was like, what? That's not what this conversation is about. I'm really mad. So he set up this low stakes. There was like a little web series that he had some friends doing or that he knew of. It was called Front Seat Chronicles, and every episode takes place in the front seat of a car, and it's a different scene. And so he put me in touch with them, and they were like, yeah, we'd love for you to come direct one. And they had a writer that wrote this great scene. They let me cast my 2 friends because I was like, I need to direct some people that are going to love me and support me doing this. And they did. And it was just it was kind of like for me to dip my toe in and be like, would I enjoy this? And would I know how to do it?
Yeah.
And then that thing that happens when you spend so many hours on a television set, you have no idea the wealth of knowledge that that's already in your brain. And I was like, oh, I know how to do this, and I'm enjoying doing this, and I'm not getting flustered by any of it.
Right.
I know what I want my shots to be. I know how this is going to come together. So then season 6, Stephanie, Joe, and I, and actually I have to give Joe and Stephanie credit because we had talked about putting our names in to direct episodes on the show, but then we got canceled and rescued by NBC, and I chickened out because I was like, I don't want to ruffle the new boss's feathers. And Joe and Stephanie were like, oh no, we put our names in. You should put your names in. You should, pitch yourself to direct. And I was like, oh, okay. And I would never have done it if they hadn't given me that push. So I did, and they gave all 3 of us an episode that season.
Oh.
And
awesome.
it was great. And it was so fun. And it was so fun to do their episodes. It was so fun to do mine. I got really lucky with mine where I was like in the C storyline. So I only like worked like one day.
Yes.
How was it directing yourself?
I hated it.
Did you go back and watch?
Really?
Hated it.
Really?
Never want to do it again.
Why?
Never
Why?
want to do it again.
So interesting.
I hated the feeling. I think some people can just split their brain that way.
Yeah.
I felt like I couldn't. I felt like I wasn't 100% present in the scene the way I normally would
Were you
be.
watching playback and then you were like,
No, I wasn't watching playback because there's no time
Yeah.
to really do that, especially on a comedy set when you're like moving.
Yeah, first thing they needed to
Yeah, well, I
account for
got
that.
really lucky. The
Yeah.
writer of that episode was Phil Augusta Jackson, who went on to create Grand Crew, who actually really helped my directing career kind of move forward. And he had already directed an episode of Brooklyn, and I because at one point I told him, like, I think you're extraordinarily talented, and if you ever need me to act in anything, I will be there. And he was like, I got this short film that I'm going to do my first time directing. Like, will you be in it? And I was like, yes. And so I was in his first short film. And so we had already collaborated. So this was a third time we collaborated together. And I just turned to Phil and I said, Phil, these are the shots. This is what I'm going for. Like, direct these scenes because I'm going to lose my goddamn mind right now.
Right.
I hate this so much. I want to just act in the scene.
Well, because you felt like you were too in your head when you were acting in the scene? Like what?
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to mentally, like, be in the scene the way I would be as an actor and also have part of my brain thinking of what adjustment. I mean, I can adjust myself, but what adjustments do I want my scene partner to make? What is the camera doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, and then like checking off all the things like, oh, I hope they pulsed in at this part or da-da-da. Like, I just couldn't do all that math in my head while I was performing. And I kind of could, but I didn't like the feeling of it. I felt like I was doing each job at like 60%
Sure,
or
I
70%.
get what you mean.
And I didn't like that feeling. I like to do 100%.
That's crazy.
And I think some people can
explain
just do that. I think
Yeah.
I've watched America Ferrera direct in scenes she's in, and she does it beautifully and flawlessly. Like, I think some people just have that brain.
it. Right.
And I don't. So I won't ever be doing that again.
Yeah.
I mean, and someone explained it to me as, you know, once you set up your cameras and you know how you're going to cover your scene, once you're in the scene, you take the hat off and just make sure the scene works for you as a performer, as an actor. And then once the scene is done, then you go back.
I also didn't love the feeling of like being an actor in a scene with another actor and being like, hey, so you know in that part, you know what I mean? Like noting an actor while
I get
you're
it.
also the actor in the
get it.
scene with them because normally like you would never, you know? And it just,
Especially an actor who's like you're a fellow series regular, right?
right. That's, it's
yeah.
weird, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, so I didn't, it was fine when I wasn't in the scene and I was approaching my castmates like as a director, and they all were like very beautifully like supportive.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Was
Yeah.
that was
And
that
it's
tough?
fun.
to do
Everybody,
that?
oh my
Like,
God,
you have
even
so much
Andre,
fun.
like, but not even Andre. Andre was beautifully gracious to everyone.
Sure.
Actually, I probably was like, I thought Andy would give, not a hard time, but I thought he would like tease me throughout the whole thing, and he didn't.
He took it very seriously.
He took it very seriously. He was very professional, which like a little part of me was
But that's what you want to do.
But
That's what you want.
I was like, come on, you're not going to razz me at all. But no, he was like everybody was like very sweet and professional. And the cool thing about that experience, which, you know, you never really get again because it's impossible. It was so nice to direct actors knowing exactly how they like to hear notes, exactly like what their all their unique little languages are. And I think that was also like important to remember when I went to other shows, was like trying to figure out part of that on day one, right? Or like trying to mine that from a showrunner or, you know, someone who's directed on the show a bunch. Like, because
So would you ask ahead of time before you start on another show? Would you
always,
really? Would you go? How does that actor like to be directed?
Is there anything
and,
you can
like,
tell me about how actors like to hear notes, or like, you know, because some people, there's actors that like really actory kind of note, like intention and verbs and da-da-da.
Yeah.
And then there's some actors that are just like faster. Like you can just, you know what I mean? Like higher stake, like, they like short things, like, so I try to find that out as much as I can before.
What about you as an actress? How do you like to be addressed?
How do I like to be addressed?
Yes.
What's my motivation?
Queen Fumero.
What's my
Miss
motivation?
Fumero. How do I like to hear notes? I definitely, like, the theater kid in me appreciates like a beautiful, well thought out note that like has depth or intention in it.
Yeah.
What about season 6, new director?
Give it to me quick.
Just give it to me.
Just give it to
What
me.
is it? Pace
Louder?
it up? Pace it up?
Pace it up? Yeah. Oh, yeah. But there definitely is. I do. Especially when you worked in comedy, right? When somebody's like, so just like more energy and like the stakes higher, and you're like, faster.
Yeah.
You want it faster. Just say faster.
Yeah,
that's it. Just say faster.
Well, just
We're
tighten
all
it up.
pros
Tighten
here.
it up a little bit.
Yeah, just tighten it up. Yeah, that's it. You can say that. You know?
Yeah.
What about you? What do you like?
What do you,
Well, so it's two things. Like drama and comedy for me are two art forms that I love so much, right? And I would say that as a when I was wearing my comedy hat, I was very when I was playing Fez on 70 Show, I had this director named David Trainer who directed all 199 episodes.
Wow.
With the exception of the pilot. And David Trainer, had created this accent, right? But I also created this vibe, which was like such an ambiguous, innocent, yet like we can get away character. So like no matter how I did it, it was like a choice that people are like, "You're gonna do it like that?"
Yeah.
Like you're gonna do it like so. But because I was so committed, they're like, "He's gonna do it like that.
Yeah.
He's gonna do it like that." So they kind of let me cook by myself sometimes. But he was like the Wilmer whisperer. Because sometimes my accent would get a little too strong and really hard to understand.
To understand.
So he would come into the scene and he'd be like, "Will." Just little mover of the fingers, and he didn't want to tell me in front of everybody that it's hard to understand you.
Yeah.
He didn't want to say that.
Yeah.
So he was just like, just enunciate a little more. And then,
That's
okay,
so
we're going to go again.
smart.
And just like enunciate.
I love
whatever.
that.
So he would steer the boat.
Yeah.
And I love...
Which is so much of what it is, especially in
Yes.
comedy. Yeah.
Yes. So in comedy, but I also like a showrunner running in and be like, here's 5 lines. This is the new joke. I love that. Like, I'm just, okay, it's a sport to me. It's like, okay, that one wasn't as funny. I'm going to nail this right now. Okay, the 230 people are waiting to laugh. Okay, cool, boom, boom, boom. Ready? Okay, set. And, so I was very good with retention in that. In drama, season 8 of NCIS, it's a little bit of like, there's so much to shoot in a drama, in a crime investigation show.
Yeah.
I don't like, I don't know what it is, but I don't like when a director says like, what would be funny?
Oh. Yeah. Don't say, it would be funny to the funny guy.
Yeah.
On the drama show?
Yeah, the drama show.
Do you get all like, tell me.
No,
Tell me what would be-
I make them feel
what
like
would
I
be funny.
listened.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try that. Let's try that. I'd like to try that.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah.
That's, cool. Yeah, we'll run it again, But I learned so much that a lot of the directors that come in, and this is like basically a big tribute to all the directors that come into machines. Like the machines that are like just cranking out episodes. Like I would say like, sometimes they have the thankless job of inheriting a DP that knows how to just shoot the show by itself, right? And then a director's coming to kind of steer the pace and steer the whatever, But there are those directors who really want to collaborate with the actor, and I think that's always super welcome and really exciting. But, at NCIS is an interesting thing because the actors have, double bachelor degrees on their characters.
Yeah.
They've done 700 episodes as this character.
No one's going to know it more than you.
Yes,
Yeah.
so they kind of, it was a little bit, but I would say I had this, I appreciate when somebody can explain to me in feelings Like, as opposed to like quite literally, like some writers want you to say it as scripted. And I have a tough time saying like, I don't know how to sell it like that. Like, I think I'll sell it better this way. But long story short, I think like with comedy, it could either be like steer the boat or like it could be like, let's try this different way.
Yeah.
And I love that sport. And in drama, I like it. I don't need silk gloves. I can take it, but it's just like, you gotta come with a very specific direction of where you want. If you want to steer the scene to go in a different pace or a different thing, like just say that shit.
Just say that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about if a director comes in and is like, be better?
Be better.
Try not to suck on this take, please.
Be better.
Does that
Give me
work?
that direction. Give me that direction.
Yeah. So Wilmer, that was great. That was great. Just as an option. Be better?
Okay. Yes. Give me a line reading.
Oh, you like line readings.
No, I'm just saying, I want you to tell me that you can do my job better now. I can do, better? Show me.
Show me.
Show me better.
Show me better. Show me better. Show me more better.
You know what it is.
Yeah, you know it is. Come here. Give me, so what do you want me, how do you want me to?
Just better.
But nobody actually has the balls to say that shit aloud, which is hilarious. Like, just be better. I'm like, show me.
I will now be pitching myself hard for your show. Just so I can come in on every take.
I would love for you to direct our show.
And go.
Yeah. And I would literally take it very serious. I'd definitely be Andy. I'd be like,
I'm not going to direct your show.
You have
Fuck
to.
that shit.
You now have to.
It would jump the shark.
Yeah.
The tone would be completely different. They'd be like, what happened?
Hey, in our
Who
defense,
let her in the building?
We have jumped the shark.
Why are they
episodes.
doing jokes?
Why are they doing jokes? Why are they so over the top?
Why is he wearing the hat?
Why is he
wearing a
Why is he wearing that?
Why is he wearing a leprechaun hat?
What's with these weird push-ins that are really funny, but just not our show?
Why is he doing the scene in boxers? I don't understand why boxers, like SpongeBob boxers. I don't know what happened to the show.
Also, the theme song is different.
Yeah.
Freddie, how do you like to hear notes?
I go off of emotion. I just tell me what emotion, because I'm always just digging for truth.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's all
Yeah.
it is. You're just
Yeah.
digging for truth.
Yeah.
So what emotion are you looking for? Sometimes people are just like, oh, well, this and that. And they, like, just what emotion, dude? What emotion do you want?
Yeah.
And once you give me that, I'll know what emotion to dig in here.
You know how to,
Give me a little
construct it.
example of that. That's actually really, I said many words because we're doing a podcast, but like that's a very direct way of saying like,
So, like,
where do you feel as the director we are in the story, and what do you think my character should be feeling right now? It's what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Like I'll do a scene and maybe I'm angry and they're like, oh man, I've had a director go, it's a little too this, too that, and they'll go off in their sort of myriad of notes, and I'm like, okay, so just real simple, man. What emotion are you going for? Just give me the emotion.
Yeah. So the like better note for you would be like I love, the anger is really great, but it's a little too high. So maybe we infuse some sadness in there, or maybe we infuse some anxiety or something.
Yeah.
Like, could, what color they want to see.
Exactly. Colors, yes.
And then
I use
you're
that
like,
term a lot.
I know how to do that, translate that, right?
Because it's the well, right?
Yeah,
Then all you
yeah.
gotta do is go back into the well and go, okay, they want that emotion, and then like, boom,
I find
the
myself-
brain sends the signal to the well, and then the
Yeah.
well like gives you the emotion, you know?
Yeah. I find myself doing that sometimes when I get like a long-winded note, and then if I'm like, do you ever do like translate? And I'm like, do you mean more this and that, and like in your own terms,
Yeah, so you can hear it in the words that would actually wake up the instinct.
Yeah, and then sometimes I feel bad because I feel like I just told the director how to actually note.
Talk. Director, here's how you use
Because
English.
sometimes the reaction is like, well, yeah. I should have just said that, and I was like, no. I'm saying I'm making sure that what I'm hearing is what you're saying, so we're on the same page. Because I have my own way of hearing and interpreting and then translating. Right. Yeah.
And what you said earlier about like a new director coming on your show, about you having a double bachelor's degree in the character, right? Like the show I did, it was the character was pretty external and I don't know if I'd say over the top, but it was definitely bombastic and electric. And I don't think the director really watched the show, and he came on and was just like, "What are you doing? What are you? No, man, that's too much." I'm like, dude, I've been doing this for like 4 seasons. What do you mean? Have you watched the show at all? Like,
Oh, God.
that's the character, you know?
There's nothing worse than when you can tell a director hasn't really watched the show.
Yeah, and you can tell like he didn't mean it in a mean way, but he had no filter, and he just pretty much told me I was like sort of overacting or whatever, and I'm like, no, man,
like,
this is what the audience is tuning in for.
This is what I've been doing.
Yeah. I
watch more than one episode.
Yeah.
What is the one thing I would talk about now, like how we want to receive it, but what is the one thing that when a director does, and I'll give you an example, but when the director does that, you're just like, you took me out. For me, is when a director just makes you do it multiple takes without communicating the why they're doing another take. Like I had a director a couple of seasons ago. We were doing a scene where we were going up the steps of this courthouse, you know. Yeah. And we're going up the steps, and then I'm walk and talk. And then we say, okay, cut. Okay, back to one. We're going to do it again. I was like, all right, great. Right, we'll go back and do it. And I think 2 takes for our show, we're nailing it. At 2 takes, we're nailing it. Right? Back we nail it at 1. Nobody forgets lines on NCIS, by the way. Like that's
amazing.
But that's because we in between scenes we're getting each other off book.
Yeah.
We're rehearsing the stuff together, which really set each other up for success. You know, awesome. Especially Gary Cole and I, like and Katrina and Sean Murray, like we all sit down and like we're like, okay, let's run it because sometimes we're shooting 3.5 pages of just like exposition.
I love that though. That's ensemble acting. Like,
it's amazing. But so then we go in a 3rd take. And she's like, let's do it one more time. And now at this point, we're like 6 takes and haven't heard a word from the director. She hasn't addressed the actors. She hasn't addressed, the camera. So I look at the camera, our steady operator, and I go, why are we doing it again? And he's like, I don't know. I said, have we not nailed the movement? Like, what is it? And he goes, I don't know. Everything's been fine. We just keep doing it.
Wow, and he doesn't even know.
He doesn't even know. Our camera operator doesn't even know. And I looked at the DP and I'm like, is there a reason why we're doing it again? He goes, I don't know.
Yikes.
So then I said...
And then we never saw that director ever again.
Director never.
Thank you for tuning in to Those Amigos. That's very good. It's everywhere you get your podcast. So honestly, I was like, hey, can I... So at that point, I was like shaking because like... we're losing the sun and they're making us do it over and over again. And at this point,
you start getting anxiety.
And he's
you're
walking,
like,
talking up and down the steps, up and down the steps. So you're not aware of your actor's band, stamina. You know, you're in location. It's like 5 p.m. We're losing the sun. We've shot 4 scenes in this location. Like everyone's like drained, So I said out loud, I'm sorry, before we even do another take, can we actually get a little perspective on the why we continue to do this scene? What are we not getting? How can we help you get this take?
Good for you.
And she comes out and she's like, no, I just feel like, we can do it one more time. And I said, and this is the first time, probably the last time I'll do this, but, and hope to God it's the last time I do this.
It's not
going to be the first, not going to be the last time. I said, so she couldn't give me an explanation. And I looked at my cast and was like, actually, no, we're done with the scene. We're done. I think we're gonna move on to the next thing. And she was like, I'm sorry. And I said, we're done. We're not shooting the scene anymore. We're absolutely done. We're wrapping that. That was the last thing. I said, we're gonna wrap this scene. And she was like, ugh. And the DP and the cameraman were like, they've never seen me.
Yeah.
And like, by the way, Mark Harmon was there too. So he just kind of walked off.
He was like, thank God, thank you, Wilmer.
We're done. We're done doing the scene. I think that's it. I think we have it in any of the 6 takes. I think you'll be able to cut it. And we walked off, and then like everyone started picking up the equipment or whatever, and it was like that was the end. And I felt bad, but I realized what was missing. Like a director has to command the crew
Yeah.
give enough information so we get to the storytelling.
Yeah.
When you exhaust your actors, you start losing the grip.
I was gonna say, did that director like fully lose the crew that
Fully,
day?
like, lost everybody.
There's nothing worse when the director loses.
Dude, you
the
have
crew.
a steady camera operator going up the steps backwards.
No, yeah. And they don't
6
know why they
times.
keep doing it. Yeah.
And it's a walk and talk.
Yeah,
Up,
then
backwards
that's
and
it.
back down. Backwards
Yeah.
and back down. Backwards and this guy's like doing Stairmasters while we're like trying to do this walk and talk scenes. Anyway, so my point is like these are the moments where you're kind of like, as a director, like you have to create a certain amount of harmony. You have to understand like, you know, the harmonic love
Also, like,
language.
the crew has power.
Yeah.
The crew is gonna be real slow to get up the next day.
Yeah.
They're gonna take some time getting those lights.
For
You know
sure.
what I mean?
For sure.
They're gonna, you know, they might be like, you might come up with an idea for a new prop, and they might be like, we don't have it.
Yeah.
You know?
So what? So
I mean,
what,
not all crews are very professional, but they work really hard. And when they feel disrespected that way, sometimes
Yeah.
they, you know, they're like,
Yeah, none of the stuff is done by
they
me.
remind you of
It's
whose
like-
house you're in.
Yeah, it was a tough thing, and
Or just like the morale is down, like the energy
Yeah,
shifts.
yeah,
the
everyone's
next
just
day. And then that's
deflated,
just
you know?
like, you know.
what's the thing that you're like, oh, that took me out, that a director can do?
Yeah, stuff like that, like unnecessary stuff, you know, without telling me. It's so funny, and we might have worked with the same director. the last show I did, I had to walk into. I had to walk up some courtroom steps also. Same thing, and it was like 100 degrees outside, and they wouldn't. They were just like, oh, I just want more, man. I'm like, what's wrong? And they wouldn't communicate to us what was wrong. And they were just trying to get the timing just right, and they couldn't get it. I'm like, dude, it's I'm wearing a suit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
with a
like
jacket.
at a certain point, you just
I'm just
gotta
like sweating. They just
either
couldn't like
change course or just accept
Yeah.
what you
It's
have.
communication, right? Like you just need to be communicated. Just tell me what you're trying to nail.
What
and I
we're
can
trying
help
to
you,
nail,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, totally. Like communication, I don't like disrespectful directors. That really like.
Oh
like,
yeah,
is a
when
pet
somebody
peeve of
like
mine.
when they give you a note and it's like a little like condescending, or it's a
Yeah.
little like, you know, like the way they say it or the tone
Yeah,
is
yeah,
a little
yellers
yeah.
or like these directors who are like yellers or you know.
like shouting a note across the thing instead
Yeah.
of like walking up to you.
Yeah, or just like assholes, you
Yeah,
know, like
yeah.
like these asshole directors, like that takes me out, man. That
Yeah.
completely turns me off, and I just,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
You?
Mine is so cliche. I fucking hate line readings.
Really?
I do.
Such a good
I
point.
know it is not everyone.
It's-
My
no, it
husband
is mine
loves.
too.
My
It is
husband
mine
really
too.
doesn't mind line readings.
Yeah,
Like sometimes
yeah.
it really helps him understand a note. A line reading is when a director, instead of giving you a note for the line, like says how they want you to say the line. So like,
That's exactly right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to like. I hear a line reading and I don't. It triggers me in a weird way. Like I feel like I'm doing a bad job. Like I'm doing so bad that you have to say the line how I should be saying it.
Okay.
And then I also don't understand what the note is. Then I try to like, well, what is the note? Like what is the shift or the adjustment? And I can't hear it in the line reading because I'm all caught up in my own shit, and then I get offended, and then and then I get like kind of mad.
You
know
start
what
spiraling a little
yeah,
bit.
I start spiraling, and it's so cliche, and I wish it didn't bug. I mean, it bugs me less, I think, as I get older. When I was younger, I would like immediately get mad.
But do you
of
think
an
that the line
example.
reading comes before or after they try to convey what the direction or the emotion is? And,
well,
and the
okay, so
second
the
part
one that-
is, do you mind them giving you a line reading if after they've given you a direction, it's not resonating?
Yes, because I had this happen to me. So, okay, if it's just the line reading, like if they come up and they're like, "Hey, can you say it like, oh, we're gonna be late," you know, if they just give the note like that, I'm like, "Fuck you." But then I did have a director once who would come up, give the note, and then the line reading. And the notes were always great.
Yeah.
That it drove me crazy.
It would follow up with a
I
line
wanted
reading.
to be like, don't do the line reading.
Yeah.
Because then I'd be hung up on the line reading. Then I'd be like, wait, is how they said it like the note? And I would, again, be on that like spiral. You know? So it's like, I just want you to like be more excited, you know? Like, come on, guys, we gotta go. You know? And then they walk away and you're like, what?
Yeah.
And then I would just be left in that spiral and like overthinking, you know, well, wait, is that more excited? Now I'm just stuck on how they did it. Should I just do it like that? But is that how I would do it? Like I get all into that.
But you know, sometimes
it just messes me up.
In network television, I hate to say it, but he's rarely the director. It comes from the writer.
Oh.
Yes. 100% comes from the writer.
Writer's on Video Village. He go killing the messenger. I'm telling you, I would say maybe, I don't know, maybe 50-50, 60-40. I don't know. You tell me who takes the biggest fall. But a lot of
100%,
writers,
most of the time it's the writer.
the writer's like, that's not how it was supposed to sound.
I will. There is a other what is exception to this rule.
Yeah.
Kids. A lot of times,
You need to give them a
line readings work really well for kids. And I've done that as a director, and it pained me. Like the showrunner had to tell, she was like, just give her a line reading. I was like, ooh. When I directed on Gordy Dip Chronicles, which had a lot of kids, and Bridget, who is the showrunner, Bridget Munoz Leibowitz, who's amazing and brilliant, and she was the showrunner, and she was a writer on Brooklyn, so I already knew her. And I remember when she told me with the kids, she was like, yeah, and so like just sometimes a line reading, they're gonna understand a line reading better than a note. And I was like, ooh, are you sure?
Yeah.
I was like, let me try, you know, and then and then like kids, you have time restraints and you have to get through things quickly. And so, and then I saw it, like there were, most of the time I could give them notes and they would I'm a mom, like, you know how to talk to kids, like, but then you would see sometimes, and they would ask for it too. Like they were also old enough where they'd be like, "How can you show me?" Like they were smart enough to also be like, so then I would do it, but I'd be like, but also you don't have to do exactly what I did. You know, like I would always feel obligated to be like, you know, you can do that what I just did, or you can do your version of it. You know, because I was wanting to give them like autonomy, but kids. They understand the note sometimes better by just mimicking, right? Because they're young and they're still learning.
Right.
And, but
switching gears, do you have a show that is currently on NBC?
Yes.
And I told you earlier before we started the show that you are absolutely stunning. Your performance in this thing is incredible. Like you're literally pulling up all your weapons and you're like, this isn't me. Like you're literally just bringing everything out.
now I just have to sing on the show.
Exactly, guys.
Season
You took
2,
it
baby.
from me. Are you gonna sing on this season? Did you get to sing on this season? So my question for you is can you talk a little bit about your show?
Yes.
You know, for other listeners and talk about, your character and what the show's about, the name of the show.
So it's called Grosse Pointe Garden Society. Quite a lengthy title. But it's on NBC. We just wrapped our first season, so all 13 episodes are on Peacock.
Yeah.
Binge it, play it on every screen in your house. And it's about these 4 unlikely friends that are part of a garden club that get mixed up in a murder. And the show takes place in 2 different timelines. So there's present day where you sort of see how they all come together and become friends. And then there's flash forwards to the night of this murder. And little by little, as the season goes on, you get more and more scenes from that night, more information, possible suspects and possible scenarios even of what went down. And then in episode 11 and 12, because it all takes place during this big gala, those 2 episodes happen in regular time. There's no
present
time.
day.
There's no time jumping, and you see like
so you catch up to it.
Yeah, you see the whole night up to the murder, and then episode 12 is from the murder all through the next morning, and then 13 is sort of like a wrap up, and then there's some flashbacks and another flash forward. So it's a really fun show. It's like a little bit it is like kind of a combo of like all the things I've done. It's a lot of dark humor. It's a little bit soapy. It's fun. It's escapist. It's dramatic. It's heartfelt. I play a character who is a very wealthy socialite in this affluent town that is all about like the upper class and appearances.
Yeah.
And she is part of the garden club as part of her community service because she drunk drove into the town fountain. And so to avoid jail, she has to volunteer at the garden club. And she meets these other people and they sort of become maybe her first friends in real life. And or ever in her life, and I think we also meet her at like a real low point in her life. We find out that she gave up a baby when she was a teenager, and she contacts that young man. He's now a teenager, and that she makes like a series of bad choices, and she doesn't really know how to be a grown up, and so she's kind of messy and toxic, and but also vulnerable. And I like. She's one of the most favorite characters I've ever played because she's so complex and I'm so like empathetic to her because she just does, there's so much she just doesn't know that she's like trying to figure out, and then she's meeting all these people in this like crossroads moment of her life. And then as an actor, it's like dream because I get to be big and ridiculous and like kind of funny because she's ridiculous, and then I get to be real and grounded and heartbroken
and your fans haven't really seen you play something like this.
So it's like I'm getting to do, you know, it's like I joke that Brooklyn Nine-Nine was like a very elite comedy school that I got to go to. And so I'm getting to like bring everything. I don't think I could have played this character 10 years ago. You know, she's like I've had to have done like everything I've done, I think, to like bring it all together for her because she has so many different flavors and colors, and they really just wrote like such a great character with Birdie. So it's been really fun.
But you're in a spectacle on this show, and I think people should watch just to kind of experience your performances. I mean, I think it's like something we also kind of really need to know that there is a level of experience and expertise and liberation that you got to have as an artist to actually get to a point to bring a character like that to life. One thing is what's on the page, and the other one is the instrument that tells that story. And you have just done it in such a high level.
Thank you.
And so I really, truly invite friends to go to Peacock and catch up, binge it, tell a friend, have everybody discover the show. It's, you know, your performance is something like, yes, just for that alone, like you need to tune in and watch Melissa do her show.
Oh,
and
that's very nice. Thank you.
You know what I love about it, and what I loved about Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I remember first watching you on that and going like, oh, this girl, she goes for it. She don't care, man.
No.
She goes for it, and this is what I mean by it, right? This is sort of the context behind it is that I feel that sometimes actresses sort of hold back because they wanna look a certain way or they want to be a certain way. Where I feel with you, there's a freedom in your instrument that you don't give a shit, man. You go and you do it, and I mean that in the most highest.
I did. No, that is such a nice compliment. Yeah.
Like,
Thank you.
She goes for it,
no breaks,
man.
no breaks.
No.
Downhill, don't break.
I just really love this job, you know, and I think part of that is I do really love to play. I do really love. I love the when we were making Grosse Pointe, it had been a long time since Brooklyn that I had done, because I've done streaming shows since then. And in a streaming show, you shoot the whole thing and then it comes out later, which I love. And so it had been a minute since I had the experience of, while we were shooting it, we were going to premiere. And I got really anxious. And it was kind of the first time I was able to articulate it. I was like, oh, I love this feeling of when we're making the thing and we're all in this bubble and you're just going for it and you're playing and you're exploring and you're finding things and you're not thinking about what it's going to freaking look like, or, you're thinking about how it's going to come together because your brain does the like technical dance of, the cameras and all that. But I love this like bubble where you're just making the thing And I was like, oh, this sucks. Now it's going to be on TV and people are going to have opinions about it. And then it's not going to be ours anymore. And it's going to be everyone else's. And then the bubble's gone. And then we don't get to live in the bubble ever again.
Right.
And I was like, but that's literally our job. Like we don't get to do this unless people like what we do and they watch. So we want that. But I just, it's like I'm a little at odds with that. And I don't know, like, it sounds crazy, but like, almost like if I could like still make money and like just like do shows and like act and things and like it didn't matter who saw it or like if it did well, like dream. That would be like literally the dream.
Right. Yeah.
I think everyone feels like that, right? Like it's so anxiety, like it's so it's hard, that part when like you know the thing you love so much and then everyone's gonna come. It's not yours anymore.
Also, it's like the pressure of it having to perform for an economical reason, like
like for the very practical reason of like it is a business. It's a product. It has to make money. It has to like do well. People have to watch it. It has to hit certain markers. Like right now, we're waiting to see if it'll come back. If it's gonna hit these certain markers.
But why do you find that so anxiety-inducing, though? And I don't even mean what you're going through right now in particular. You just described, you know, you doing these other shows or Brooklyn or whatever, and it seems sort of the normal process for you to battle that in your head. Like, why is it so anxiety-inducing?
I don't know. I mean, I guess, right, it's so out of my control. Like, there's nothing I can do about it, which in other parts of my life, I should just, like, and I normally can, like, with things I can't control, like, I'm pretty good at, like, but for this, I guess because I get, especially if I love it, like, I really love this show. I really love this cast. They're amazing, so freaking talented. Asia Naomi King, Anna Sophia Robb, Ben Rappaport. They're, like, top-notch freaking actors and people, like human beings. I love the showrunners, and I love this character. So I think I feel very personally invested. And again, it's that feeling of like, it gets taken away from you a little bit. Like I still have ownership of my character when I get to be her and do it on set. But all the external stuff is like out of my control, even though it's this thing that I hold like near and dear. And it belongs to other people now. And they get to decide if they like it enough. Like it's a weird freaking feeling.
So if it's not in your control, why allow the anxiety to consume you?
Because I want to do it more. Because I want to go back to my happy bubble.
Yeah.
You know, where we're making it and no one knows what we're going to make yet. And you know, and then just,
I guess ultimately what I'm saying is
just want to get back to the bubble, man.
Yeah, but don't let it steal your peace, though. You know what I mean?
I know. Yeah. No, I do. I have to get it. It's the one part of our job that I have probably struggled the most with, like my whole career, is the waiting. We did it very often on Brooklyn. Brooklyn was always on the bubble.
Right, that's tough.
Even though we weren't really. It was just everyone was watching us on Hulu.
Right.
And the waiting periods of finding out if this thing, this especially when it's an incredible experience and you love who you're working with and you love what you're working on. Like that's what it was with Brooklyn. It was just like, I don't want this to end. I don't want this ride to end. Like there's something really special happening.
Do you get the itch to play different characters at all? Or do you like the set and be like, I want to live this character through?
Both. I definitely love TV more than doing movies for that reason.
You can really see a character
I
through
like
its
staying
life
with
form.
characters longer, you know? It always feels like when you do a film or something and you're just with that character for 2 months and you're like,
for that
but then what happened to her? Like, you know, I'm always left with that feeling. I like living with characters longer. But I do, like, even as sad as I was for Brooklyn to end, my sadness, I think, was more rooted in anxiety about what happens next. What does my life look like without this thing, you know? But I was ready to move on. I was ready to like play someone else, I think. Yeah.
Oh, really? After 7 years, you felt that way?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I was excited about.
How many episodes did you guys do?
We did like 155. Yeah. It was like, you know what I mean? I was like, I can tell you exactly what Amy's probably going to do for the rest of her life. And like, I feel I have fully explored this character, and now I'm ready to move on. Yeah.
And like one last question. Where do you think your character would be right now?
Amy?
Yeah.
Oh, Amy is definitely a captain of a precinct.
Yeah.
Or very close to being captain of a precinct. She's also probably the PTA mom of her kid's school.
Very good, very good.
She's probably had a second kid by now. And she's gotten all their finances in order. Like Jake finally has a 401k and they have a college fund set up. And yeah, and that's what she's doing.
That's awesome.
And R.I.P. Rest in peace to Andre, who I've had the distinct pleasure of working with as well. And he's from Chicago like me.
That's right.
And he was just a lovely, lovely human being, and obviously an incredible actor, but just a lovely human being to work with. And I'm sure you must have had the same experience with him.
The most amazing, brilliant man, and I mean, I have countless beautiful memories with him, but for me it was also the advice he gave me and also the biggest gift, and we all have talked about this on the cast, especially those of us, because me, Andy, on Joe, Stephanie, and Chelsea, we all had kids during the run of that show. We all became parents, and Andre flew back to New Jersey almost every weekend while we shot Brooklyn, and eventually, they just started giving him Fridays off. But he was a very devoted family man. And he gave us all this beautiful gift of, I do not feel bad telling a job that I need to get home to my family. And that things need to be worked into the schedule, or this is my expectation. I can't go longer than 2 or 3 weeks without seeing them. And, and I'm very like collaborative in that, but like, I don't feel bad or scared to stand up for that. And I think our business has gotten better too in general with like family and like treating people like human beings. But that was the biggest gift I think he gave me was just unabashedly being like, yeah, so I'm going to be away from my family, so this is what's going to happen.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great advice. Well, I'd like to end it on that beautiful sentiment that we all should definitely find a balance of, continue to cultivate why we show up to work and why we get up in the morning and why we travel to a different city to make, the runway that we need to keep the light on for our families. But it's also important to kind of be with our families because that's the point, right? That's the point of living life, right? Melissa Fumero. I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, you
You're
guys.
a hero to a generation.
I mean, I wouldn't go
You
that far.
are the national flower of Cuba.
I definitely would not go that far. But I am so honored to be the first amiga on this podcast. Thanks for having me, you guys.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
Melly. This is Dos Amigos. I'm Wilmer Valderrama.
I'm Freddy Rodriguez.
And see you in the next episode.